When Wes Watson first started posting content back in 2019, his videos mainly focused on his time spent in federal prison. Wes claims that he started selling weed during his teenage years and was making up to $40,000 a week. Although Wes has given various different versions of this story, so that's just a rough estimate.
At 11, I just started hustling. By the time I was 16, I went and bought a truck at like a lifted Z71 cash, like 50 grand. I had hundreds of thousands of dollars at 15, 16. I started smoking weed at like 13 or 12.
Just like you said before, like it's always yourself, like getting that rough life at a young age, seeing that tough life at a young age. That's why they are stronger now in the mind, their mindset, physically, in their attitude and the way they react to things. Like they tend to find out that common ground to say, okay, we suffered at a young age.
By the time I was 14 or 15, the natural progression was to start slinging.
And despite selling what he describes as a large amount of product, he managed to avoid the law for a long time. That was until a fateful night in November of 2009 where Wes physically assaulted a man after a drug deal that had gone wrong. Notably, Wes was not actually involved in the deal itself, but rather serving as more of a low-level grunt.
And we always see this pattern of assault. Like they always like getting violence, just like where we said before, getting violence in terms of their approach to things. When they can't talk things over, it's always let's get into the fight and settle things and settle the score.
Called in after the deal fell through. Not exactly the hotshot kingpin he claims he was. What is true is that Wes spent nearly a decade in prison, and stories he told from his time locked up brought him almost immediate success on YouTube. In under half a year since his first upload, Wes was already able to get 250,000 subscribers. And during the pandemic, Wes had a unique opportunity and began creating more motivational content to help people increase their mental fortitude and physical fitness while trapped at home. This is when Wes began offering what he describes as self-mastery.
Another course, like you see, another course. Like they keep selling this course to you, become like them this one become unstoppable, be the champion, be the best version of yourself. Like it's always selling course, boy. You claim that you are living a good life. Okay, why don't you make all this in free? Make it free, and if you want to help the youth, if you want to help the younger generation, make it free to them. Make it free to them to have access to. Must you say them and he said surely be at a cheaper rate compared to what you say you are making or what they claim their net worth is.
Programs, which sought to teach young men how to hone in their physical strength, business capabilities, and mindset. Thanks to programs like this, Wes claims that he now makes an average of $3 million per month.
Like you don't make $1 million a month, you make a third of what I make a month. If you make $1 million a month, I can't respect someone who's doing.
Wow, like did I just hear? Please let's run this back, please.
Like you don't make $1 million a month, you make a third of what I make a month. If you make $1 million a month, I can't respect someone who's doing a third of me.
Wow, you can't respect somebody doing $1 million a month. Man, let's continue, please. I don't have much comment on this. Like, it's crazy.
Is in 300 million. He murdered me. I have to understand what he did.
Although we have no way to verify how much money he was actually making, what I can say for sure is any businessman who was making $3 million per month would absolutely respect and listen to the advice of another businessman who was making $1 million.
The most annoying thing, you see people do the same job and make like 50K over there in the US, make like 50K. 50 to 100K a month doing the same job, and you are here saying you can't respect somebody making 1 million, less than 1 million a month. How much is it cost? Who are those that are going to buy it? So you don't respect your customers, you don't respect your believers. That's what you're trying to say.
Per month. Despite his arrogance, Wes was relatively respected in the early days of his content creation career. His videos served as a cautionary tale of just how brutal and unforgiving spending time in federal prison can be. Wes sold himself as a man who learned from his mistakes and was trying to teach other people lessons that he had to learn the hard way. In particular, Wes has claimed that his anger issues were the catalyst for many of his problems.
My biggest vice is anger. I have a problem with it. It's the biggest battle of my life. These vices hold us from everything, all our dreams, everything we could ever possibly just gather up in love for our lives. Our vices are holding us from it.
Of course, Wes put on the persona that he was a changed man and now found healthy ways to deal with his anger.
I don't fall victim to my old vices, the drugs, the negative the anger. I don't fall victim.
Like I appreciate the fact that he agreed, like he accept the fact that he has a shortcoming and he agreed to the fact that he's trying to work on it. But you are saying you don't have anger issue, but the tone you are using to say it, the state you are using to say it is in a state of anger and it's a tone of anger. Like it doesn't make sense to some point.
do it no more. I've done so good on my anger lately too. I'm so proud of it. You guys, you have to drop all this and not drag your family through the mud.
But this didn't seem to be the case, as conflict in his personal life made it to the public eye, and they showed that Wes hadn't really changed at all, particularly when Valerie Watson, Wes's now ex-wife, posted a video to social media accusing her husband of both physical and emotional abuse.
I literally have held my tongue for way too long to protect him. It's not happening anymore. He's physically hurt me so many times that it's unforgivable. And I do have a video of Wes charging at me and has put like a knife to my face and literally have told me, like, has threatened to kill me.
Valerie also specifically emphasizes that the person Wes portrays himself to be online is a lie, and that he did not follow the same rules and principles he promoted to his audience.
Yeah, sure, it's always a lie. Like when you just like we are seeing now, you see you talking about anger that you are working on it, that you are getting over it, but you are still like your tune, your state is still like showing that okay, you are angry, even saying that you are working on your anger issues. So there is always they live like I'm not judging anyone like on your life on why you decide to live on maybe the trauma you have or your past experience, but when you do so, like be open to people, like be open to people, just like you saying you are selling a course to become a better man. Like, but you are here treating your partner like abusing your partner. So those buying your course, they know about it. Do you expect them to go the same route of abusing their partners too, or not respecting their partners?
She also included pictures of her bloodied hand and bruised arms, implying that Wes had directly caused the injuries. Then again, it is possible that he had a jealous ex who was just trying to make up stories because he was becoming successful and popular online. That is for sure what Wes's fanbase thought, which is why this wasn't the final nail in the coffin for his career. And over the next few years, more information would come out about Wes that essentially proved to his detractors that his whole life was a hoax. His mega mansion, which he claimed to have purchased, was not actually his. The property was listed for rent at $65,000 a month in October of 2022, and the listing was removed a month later in November, right before he uploaded his vlog showing off the property. His Bugatti Chiron, he also does not own. Even his girlfriends, and I'm not joking, are literally rented. Wes was exposed for hiring a female escort for $200 an hour and pretending that she was his actual girlfriend.
So, wait, let me understand this. Like, you rent a house, rent a car, and still rent girls just like to prove to your followers that, okay, you are living the alpha male life? And the truth is that to all this thing, even if you check the money you spend, even selling the course, the money you make selling the course, and the money you spend on all this, like you would have even used it to do a better thing. Like, must you prove to people that you are living a better life than them? Why you are living in life?
His house is rented, his cars are rented, and even his girlfriends are rented, which doesn't mean that he is secretly broke. It's just clear he isn't exactly the business mogul he claims to be. If Wes had taken the money he's been wasting on overpriced cars and homes for Instagram and actually invested it, he could have actually owned real assets by now. A large property, maybe not supercars, but still expensive luxury cars. But he didn't do that because Wes is creating the illusion.
Like the same thing I just said, like, it's a common sense, like it's a common thing, common sense, like demands you to do it, like instead of spending money on those things, like just as little as you can get, just get it. Your followers will still believe you, like you are being real, you have spoken to them, you have real believers and people that are buying your course. So why more do you need to live a fake life and pretend that you are living a better life?
Of success to sell more courses and coaching to people who don't understand what real success is, which is, I have to admit, ironically, a good business strategy. The problem is this relies on the customer lacking intelligence and desperately wanting a role model, and thus paying a con artist with deep insecurities. He even lies about his height. Despite being listed as 5'8" in court documents, Wes gets furious when anyone suggests he's shorter than 6 feet tall.
But why is the height always a problem to these guys? Like, you have the muscle, you have the build up. So why are you so bothered about the height? You have something to make up for the height. So yes, why are you so insecure about it?
I went into medical when I was booked. I was 6'2", and I said, "Why the does my paperwork say 5'8", 230? That's the eyeball of the arresting officer."
To make matters worse, he literally uses special insoles to boost his height, and he does a terrible job at hiding it. Wes has such a hard time keeping track of his lies that the alpha womanizer admitted to being bisexual during an interview.
I was in a Q&A on the way here. So it said, "Skinny or thick chicks?" I'm like, "I like them skinny thick." You know, what the you mean? Like, everything's like that for me. They're like, "Are you straight or are you this?" I'm everything. I'm not just one or the other.
And despite portraying himself as a stoic yet intense tough guy who learned from his mistakes and can now control his anger, Wes's temper was completely out of control, violently threatening anyone who had a different opinion than him.
Are you saying that your Bugatti and your money and everything else is worth more than your children?
Like, my dad's a superhero. Look what he brought to the table. Look how hard this guy works. He came from nothing to this.
Yeah.
He works. God damn it.
You're still whining. Stop whining.
That is a product. I'll smack your fat ass.
So you're gonna
look
let's
at
just-
your goddamn self.
Okay, guys,
I've never seen such a pathetic motherfucker.
Okay, well,
So the thing is that they always tie like success to material things. I'm not saying that we all have these dreams of living a good life, living a comfortable life that you can afford anything you want, you can afford anything you dream of. But when you come this hard to people trying to seek your opinions on things and you are coming hard and saying you don't have a Bugatti, you don't have a Lamborghini, that you are not successful, like it doesn't make sense. Like
Chill out a little bit, man. A little bit.
This is not what men
Let's let
look
him.
like.
Let's let him.
What do they
finish
look
at
like?
this point.
what do they look like? Ball prisoners?
Like many of these alpha males, Wes also had a habit of challenging other men to fights whenever he felt slighted by them, leading up to an altercation that would change his life forever. Now, the nature of this video is extremely graphic and cannot be shown on YouTube, but footage of Wes violently beating up another man would be leaked by John Bravo, in which we can see Wes hit the man with a weightlifting belt, then him and his friends pin the man down and endlessly
the thing is, you already mentioned this, like he's dealing with anger issue, but the thing is, say you already gotten over it, but see him here getting physical with his fellow men, like with his boys, and like it kind of like when you see, imagine you having this kind of person as a role model, and you have gotten his course, and you listening to him, and you see him do this kind of thing. Like maybe some good amounts of people might condemn it, but there are still people that follows him that will still say, okay, or do you know what this guy did to him that maybe it's right to get physical with this guy, like. But it's just like what is the amounts of people we look up to, like how they influence us and everything.
hurl punches at his head and even kick him in the face multiple times. The man in question would press charges, leading Wes to be arrested for felony assault and battery. He is now facing up to 25 years in prison. Ironically, Wes is now right back where he started and potentially may find himself behind bars once again. Recently, he has restricted or completely disabled his comment sections on all of his social media accounts, going to show just how fragile his ego really is. Worst of all, his reputation is so destroyed that the only people who are willing to collaborate with him are people like Jack Doherty and the Island Boys. Wes is a perfect example of someone who would have greatly benefited from following his own advice, just like the Liver King.
So like you would have done so many things, you would have achieved so much things, like you have a good number of followers and young people willing to listen to you, but you kind of messed everything up on your own and you don't have anyone to blame. So if this impacted you in any form and you have any opinion to share, do it to share it on the comment section and do it to like and subscribe and stay tuned. We'll be putting out more video. Thank you.